Hello, my friend. Welcome to Simply Draw. I'm really glad you're here. Today, I thought you and I could draw this goldfinch. So, go get a scrap piece of paper, something from recycling, get a pen, make sure your pen works, get yourself comfortable. And while you're doing that, I'll just talk a little bit about this guy. Forgive these lines. It was my printer that needed the heads cleaned. Anyway, this picture is good enough for our purposes. I like this pose because he's looking back over his shoulder and there's a nice curve to the bird that we're going to try to capture with our sketch. So I hope you're organized and ready to go. What we want to make sure we include are the distinguishing features of the goldfinch, and that means the black cap and the black markings on the wing and the tail, and also this great big fat finch bill. If you see a bird and you're not too sure what it is and it has a great big bill like this, chances are it's from the finch family. So there you go. Okay. So I always like to start just above the bill. So I'm gonna start there. You can start wherever as long as my hand's not in the way. And notice how the head is kind of flat. It's not a dome like you see in a chickadee. So, and next, when you choose a starting point on your paper, make sure you give yourself space for the tail. I'm only mentioning that because I did a cardinal once and I wasn't careful where I started, and then a third of the tail was like off the page, so that kind of sucked. Anyway, okay, so if we start over here, this should give us enough space to fit in the tail. And I'm going to use my finger here to just begin above the bill, a little mark there, and do kind of a flattish head. And we're going to go around to the back of the head, and these feathers here that are sticking out at the back of the neck. Now, geez, I don't know if that angle is okay. Boy, you guys, getting nervous talking to you. Okay, so the front of the bill is further to the left than the bottom. So when we go to our drawing, make sure that the place where you want to put the bottom of the bill is back from here. And we're going to do the curve for the throat, and then straight into the shoulder for the wing. And the bottom of the throat here is lined up over here. See how the shoulders are in alignment. So we're just gonna take this down on this side for his shoulder. That goes into his tummy. Where his legs are, and his bum. And here we're gonna push it out a little bit for his wing that's lying on the side of his body here. And we'll just push out the tail. Okay, that's enough. Let's not get ourselves into trouble here. Let's go back over here, and we're going to put in the bottom of this wing right here. Scoop that out for those wing feathers, and carry this up to the shoulder. And then we'll see how bad we did on the stomach. So take this up. To the shoulder. Here we've got this black set of feathers here, down. I don't know, I don't think that looks too bad. It kind of comes straight down. Maybe it could be a little bit heavier there. Now let's go back and do this space right here by his tail. Bring his tail down and out. I don't know if that looks long enough. Now we're doing it classic thick bill for the finch. And don't push it out too much, okay? Because if it's too short, it's easy just to sort of like clean it up and make it a little bit longer if necessary. Let's do the markings around the face. And the yellow feathers come in here. The line for the bill. Slight curve to it. I think mine could be a little bit longer. Now the eye is forward, so place it close to the bill, okay? Put that in, color it in, shade it in, but leave a white dot where the light has reflected off the curve of the eyeball. Like that. And let's do his black cap. So it kind of comes up like this. Don't take your cap to the back of his head, okay? Just take it up to the top. If it's too short, you can add it. You can lengthen it later. Let's just color this in. Okay, we've got a lot of filling in to do. I don't want to be dicking around too much with this. Okay, how does yours look? That's not too bad, eh? I think he looks a little thin right here, but we can bump out his shoulder a little bit. And, okay. Let's go back and fill in these markings for this wing here. And pay attention to the black sections and just leave the white. There's a little white strip here. I'm doing a video, honey. No questions, okay? Okay. Now let's do these black sections on the tail. What I used to do was focus on the parts that were white, and I would try to like outline those, and then they'd be too small or in the wrong spot. So you figure out what works best for you, but for me, I have started focusing on the parts that are black or dark and just drawing those in and letting the white sections take care of themselves as the leftovers. And they've been kind of been working out. Let's see, these white strips are way too fat. Let's focus on doing the black. Here we can fix the tail in a little while, but just want to keep ourselves oriented. Now let's do this wing here and focus on the black sections. I hope I'm not coloring outside your brain of vision. Anyway. I'm gonna get all screwed up. All these tiny little sections that are white and dark. Now here, we don't want to screw this up, so just focus on the black. Go nice and slow. I can tell right now I'm probably going to screw up the number of, there's this one, and this one. Let's see if I can count to 3 here. That one, okay, now this one's a little bit wider, so let's take the black and take the black. Do this black band. And this black band. The top of the tail. This black merges into the black that's on the wing. Okay, now let's just fill all this in here. This black comes out, and this black comes out. And this black comes out. Okay, I don't want to get all buggered up. So let's go back over here where we can draw in this curve here. It's so funny because you think, oh, these markings don't look too complicated. Wrong. Okay, I want to do this black thing here. So I just want to keep myself oriented. And then as errors and distortions become evident in the picture, then you get more screwed up and things are... Okay, now we're going to do this black section right here. We need to leave a space. Do it like that. Come down here. Fill that in as black. I know it's a little fiddly, you guys, I'm sorry, but I mean, what we're learning here is how to drive ourselves crazy. Okay, now that I want to do this scoop here, this great big wing feather right here. This will really tell us how buggered up we are with our proportions and whatnot. It comes around like this, and then up, and then there's this band here, and a band there, and then that's black. So let's do this line here. Let's hurry and fill all this in as black. Now this joins this black up here. This is why you have to draw with me, because like it's really silly if you're just sitting there watching me dick around with my pen, making all these boo-boos. Now, we're just focusing on the black, okay? So let's just do a little black thing there, blah, blah. Some black strips here, here. I'm going to do a better job coloring this in. It's just when you make a couple scribbles while you're doing it, it just helps to remind you that, oh yeah, that's the dark part. You know what, you guys? I think this is like not too crappy. I don't want to be too optimistic. But look, because this distance from the wing to the tummy is not too bad. Okay. Now, let's tackle all this here. So, where do we want to go? If we go up to the shoulder here, let's do this. There's a very, very little bit of his chest showing there. Let's not get too... And we're focusing on the black. That's what we're gonna draw in, okay? Train, well, I don't know. Who am I to coach you, for heaven's sakes? You do your online learning. You're here. You're doing your work. Well, that's all that matters. But for me, focusing on the black really ended up helping me. I wonder if this should be lower down. I don't know. Let's start at this end, see if we can join it up. There's this scoop, the space. We want this black coming up. This is jagged. There's a black strip right here. that joins all this. This black strip goes around. I'm drawing the bottom here. Okay. Hope my finger's not in the way if you're doing something else. I'm doing the bottom. Okay, don't get screwed up. Let's do the bottom. It's all jagged and it kind of ends over here. And then the other black part. It's funny how these feathers here lie so nicely, yeah? You can see more of the curves. Comes up like that. And this joins it. Whew. Okay, this part is dark, so color in yours. Leave it a little bit jagged there. I'm doing this black patch here. Okay, now this is what we need to color in next. Oh, there you go. Right? Kind of afraid to get my ruler, but I think, you know what? Why don't we, do you have a ruler handy? I tell you, I've started using one lately. Okay, let's just kind of do like a little doodad markings there, and he's got his loose feathers here. His head needs to be further down. Okay, so I want to show you what I started doing. I found this opaque, flexible ruler, and I'd be scared to do this in front of you guys, but let's double check our markings. So whether the proportion, whether the scale is the same or not, that's irrelevant. What you want to go for is accurate proportions, if you can. So in a reference photo, see how his bill is sticking out? So let's see where the bill hits. Okay, so it's kind of like the mid wing at the back and through the bottom of the wing closest to us. Oh my God, how bad is this gonna be? Assuming that the tear on my paper is straight. Okay, so here it goes to the mid, but see this bottom wing, the wing closest to us, it's not over far enough. So this angle is wrong, okay? This isn't too bad. Now, what else can we check? Oh, the grid lines, thanks to my crappy printer, the bottom of the outside wing is right at the top of his foot. That we can actually do when we're doing our sketch. So let's just go here to the bottom of this wing and put in the top of his foot. It's got to be around here. Well. Okay, so let's just draw this in. It's really small and kind of hard to see, but anyway. This foot closest to us is on the top of the stump and the toes are around. The foot at the back, the toes are around the other side of the stump and I can't really see them. So just put in some bumps where the joints are. And this is the back toe that you can't see because of the shade. So one toe that you also can't see because of the shade. And then the second one comes out with a great big claw on it there. Just gonna put the stump around now his back leg. You can see this here. Actually see part of his, I don't know, it's like the top part of the sock or something, I don't know what it's called. Anyway, we'll have this leg coming down, it gets wider, closer to the foot, and he's got these toes that are going up and around the stump. Big toe there, and then coming out toward us is this back toe. We'll do some shading in a second, but let's just get the stump in here a little bit. Kind of hard when you've got to sort of like figure out how it goes around the stump if you can't see everything. Jeepers creepers, so much to fix. I don't want to be dicking around trying to fix this stump. Okay, now, tail looks too short. Forget the measuring, that's embarrassing. Okay, this I think should be down a bit more. But what do we want to do next? I think he should be like a little fatter through here. How does yours look? I'm gonna just do some loose feathers and then some markings around his face, because what this lighting is so bad, I'm sorry you guys, but what there is going to be is just like a few darker areas where the feathers have been folded and a little bit more compacted, right? And then around his face it's a little bit lighter on the top. Leave these patches white. You can just do the impression of well, I think I'm gonna give gotta have like a slightly bigger head, I think. I'm gonna have him a little bit better curve. Like it's still flat on top, going to the back. And this around. That's the whole thing, you know? Like things kind of get screwed up. So it's just a matter of going to do some shading under his bum, okay? Don't forget that. So this part is dark under his tummy. This is shaded under the wing where it doesn't lie completely flat against his belly. I don't know if the tail, well, I don't know, you guys, what do you think? How's yours? Talk about simply draw. Simply dicking around with a pen, getting our practicing done. Well, the question is he good enough for the wall? Or the fridge? Wherever you put your sketches. Take this down a little bit. Give him some character around the eye. Not too much character though. So we call it quits. Gets to the point where you can only do so much when there's things that are kind of like a little screwed up. Well, he's not horrible. Okay. Well, I think we should call it quits right there before I make something too incredibly crappy. There's our goldfinch, right? I'm sure yours looks better than mine. I'd love to see a picture if there's any way that you could get it to me through my Facebook. I'd like to see what you're up to and how much better you are than I am. Okay, you guys, shutting up now. Thank you so much for your company. I really, I enjoyed it, and I hope you did too. I hope you learned something. Hope you did a better job than me, and I like your little goldfinch already. See you next time.